I just played through Halo Combat Evolved with the catch skull turned on and it almost made me want to uninstall. So, let's take a look at it, shall we? The game begins on the Pillar of Autumn and I can't figure out what that's supposed to be referring to. Is it turkey and gravy, browning leaves, the urge to chuck pumpkins? In any case, the captain of the UNSC rotisserie chicken made a blind jump that just so happened to bring him to a giant hula hoop. Who is he running from, and why are they smashing us with the mashed potatoes? Oh, we have to figure that out. Never mind. I wake up to someone who was obviously perving on me while I slept. Once he gets blown up, I make my way through corridors that definitely won't be copied later to the bridge, and what did 343 do to our gal? Anyway, we have to get Cortana off of the ship because something called the Covenant is stealing all of our giblets.
Don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
Oh, great. Thanks for starting me off with something useless. Wait, there are actually 48 rounds in reserve. Never mind. I blow my way across the mess hall through a bunch of corridors and a 2-story room that I conquer on my first try. Second try. Once I make my way to the lifeboat, the cutscene doesn't trigger until I turn around and move back to it once again. Which is weird. When we launch, a Marine remarks that the Halloween has been hit, but shouldn't he have known that from the past half hour or so? Anywho, the escape pod crashes, everyone dies, and wait, I'm the lone survivor? Oh. I move up the fields of a giant ring and immediately get a huge portion of my health eaten up by a red elite. Naturally, I eliminate some grunts and make my way up to a fight that required no redos whatsoever. Nope, nothing to see here. After a set number of waves, I wind up with a warthog, which means that Cortana gets to state the blatantly obvious.
This cave is not a natural formation.
You're on a ring world. Nothing about this is natural. Oh, there's also this.
We're actually broadcasting tactical data on unencrypted channels.
So our enemies are stupid? I accidentally tap a Marine. He falls over and doesn't get back up again, so I have to run the Covenant over myself. It doesn't work out all that well, but then it does. Oh, there are some elites up near a switch? Well, they can get stickied. Once I cross the bridge, I assist a number of Marines in 3 different areas, only to find out that Captain Keyes has been captured. Great. It's here where I realize that I need to turn the difficulty down to heroic. The fight on board the Truth and Reconciliation is painful. After that, it's over the river and through the woods to Hammertown we go. I will say that this difficulty actually made me feel more like a super soldier, and that's important. After blowing up a ton of Covenant in and around the entry point, more hunters drop by to mess up the day. Never mind the elite grunts and jackals. Oh, there's a hunter over there. I think I should— Where did you come from? Phew! They're both down. I take the ramps because the ship doesn't have an elevator, open it up to some Marines, and make my way to the prison where they're holding my captain. Apparently, Halo has some kind of religious significance to the Covenant, but it's also a weapon. You know what time it is? I'm going to do an escort mission. Ugh. Once El Capitan kicks it more times than I could possibly imagine, we make our way to a Covenant dropship. Our reward is the second best level in the game. The Marines and I tear apart a Covenant defense force and we get a warthog for our trouble. Do I go forward though? Nope, I turn around. I can't drive into the interior of the island, so I hoof it, waste another pair of hunters, and take out even more Covenant. Oh, there are more wormy things in this building? Not anymore. The facility is a security center. It gets disabled and some overshields let me fall off the cliff with no problem. Only one Marine seems to be left on the beach for some reason, so I take him with me and drive to the control center. It turns out that my lone companion can't hit the broadside of a barn, so I'm on my own again. It's no problem though. I'll just blow myself up with a rocket even though the path of the shot is totally clear. They kinda screwed up this anniversary edition, didn't they? Once the hunters are destroyed, I walk into the main building, die because of another glitch, and completely misjudge some fireworks. At the bottom level, I find the control center's location and backtrack it out of there with even more Covenant nipping at my beefy muscles. After sticking a grenade to an elite's crotch, I take care of his friends and jet off to the 3rd best level in the game. Now sure, Assault on the Control Room has a few copied corridors and irritating banshees. However, it more than makes up for it with wide open spaces and a tank. Nice. Double nice. The Scorpion delivers a satisfying punch indoors and out, but I guess that means that we have to abandon it. It's time for more corridors. I quickly spot a shortcut because Banshee. I take it and get past the control room's opening on the first try. And by first, I mean fifth. Of course, I have to leave Cortana in the control room and rush out of there because Captain Keyes is in trouble again. I wind up down in the best level of the entire game, and wait, what are the Covenant running from? Did our guys kill an elite or something? I mean, I'll take them out, but something's off here. What's with the human weapons? Wait, there's no one there. That's weird. Well, time to take the elevator down. There are a lot of Covenant down here, but nothing I can't handle. I shoot grenade and smack my way across, and why is there blood all over the walls? How did those grunts and jackals die?
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things!
What the hell is going on here? Once I roll down a few more corridors, I finally discover the truth via helmet cam. Keyes and a human squad followed the same path that I did, but they found an elite with inexplicable injuries. Moments after they opened the door to the room that I'm in, they were assaulted by alien zombies. Oh crap. The infection forms are easy enough to handle, but the combat forms are another story. Ooh, a shotgun. That's going to come in handy. Wait, I have to go down again, and the things are shooting at me? Well, it's nothing that a shotgun blast to the tentacles can't fix. Some jackals and marines were fighting side by side. That's sad. Oh, thank goodness, I'm on my way back up. I shoot my way out to a platform in the middle of the jungle and meet up with 343 Guilty Spark, an extremely optimistic robot. That's ironic because he's about to transport me to one of the worst levels in the entire franchise. The library could have been good, but it's frustrating. The level is 4 segments of copy and pasted hallways punctuated by Flood with rocket launchers. With that said, the index is in hand. Wait, Halo actually kills the Flood's food? As in us? That's not good for anyone, so it's time to fight the Sentinels for a change. The only problem is that 2 Betrayals is assaulted in the control room backwards. Oh, but there are generators that remove shields just because. Keyes is even weirder because I start right outside the room that the titular character is in. However, I have to go down, around, and up again to get back to him. It turns out that he was taken as a zombie. No surprises there, so I punch him in the face and get his neural implants. Boy, I sure hope that no daughter of his wonders what happened. And of course, there's the Autumn of Pillar. While the biggest additions are the Flood and some Grimes, something interesting happens when Cortana tries to blow up the ship.
You can't imagine how exciting this is to have a record of all of our lost time. Human history, is it? Fascinating.
Wait, we built Halo in the distant past? Let's put that aside for now. I have to fight through a bunch of two-way engagements to the engine room. Those engine pipes look ripe for destruction, so I take them down and bug out for evac. The final set piece of the game is affectionately titled the Warthog Run, and it's wonderful. While there are a few places where your ride can flip over, this sequence is a bold choice because it completely throws out convention. Then again, Foehammer is shot down by unmanned banshees, so maybe not completely. Never you mind though, it's time to survive, run to the longsword, and scrape out a Pyrrhic victory. In all seriousness, this may be the worst of the Bungie Halos, but it's still a lot of fun in the here and now. It's a basic but well-told sci-fi story that serves as a great foundation for something more. On top of that, its innovative gameplay became a blueprint for pretty much every other first or third-person war game that followed in its wake. Even accounting for all of its issues and whatever happened to the remaster, that's a beautiful legacy.
Halo, it's finished.
No, I think we're just getting started.
GG. I'll see you next time.